knowing that it's my first time in. Hello and welcome to the interview of Rohan Chaube. I can only say one line about him, that it's an honor to be inside, in connect, sorry, I goofed up. I was expecting this. It's an honor to have him in my life today for a simple reason. Some people grow and they grow with arrogance. Here is a guy who grows with complete humility and knowing that he has a spiritual background, and the attitude is as such, which only helps whoever he comes in contact with. So, Rohan, it's an honor to have you here, and I'm extremely, extremely happy to provide this stage. And it's my first live, so it's all the more exciting for me.
I'm so
And
honored. I'm so honored to, be on your first live, and always a pleasure and a thrill to speak to you.
thank you. And you know what? Although we are live, my heart is in my mouth. You might laugh about this, but I really don't know if we are live or not. But then, yeah, I'm just confirming because it shows we are live. So I'm going by that. Nevertheless, Rohan, if we have to begin, and as we already know, the saying goes, what goes around comes around. And I believe because you are deep rooted into spirituality, please let us know about your journey, about how it began for you, because you are India's most followed growth hacker, be it the world's, be it India's best, I would say, organizations or the names that even you mentioned. I have already mentioned the names before this interview had begun, but I will again read it out for the people to know. Rohan Chaube has helped startups and thought leaders acquire their first 100 to more than 1 million users. Is that true?
100K is what you call it. I mean,
100.
100,000.
Okay. Google, Uber, Ola, Kalyan Jewelers. OMG, how did you even manage to get these people, or did they connect with you? Please share with us, Rohan.
So I have this, of course, I could be wrong, but I have this, you call it a limitation or whatever, that I cannot ask for work anywhere or anytime. It's just
Okay.
that I feel that I attract work in the way that, I'm not even thinking of it and it just comes. But I do have an intention to serve,
Okay.
and I just, magically get work. So technically they call it inbound marketing, but I don't really do any of the, I mean, specifically do anything. Let's say the posts are not directed to get clients, the messages are not directed to get clients, the copies on my profile are not exactly directed to get clients, but I just represent who I am, and I try to show as much as of my, personality and thought leadership in every possible way,
Wow.
without fearing that, what would happen or what would people think, or is this going to help my business, or this is going to put me, on the spot. So I think, I think the simplest answer to all of that is just authenticity, just showing
Lovely.
who you are and what you do without any frame or filtration, is what I feel. So there is this new buzzword and craze with personal branding, as we know. This is something that, people have always been doing. Like, even if you do not call it personal branding, and I've been on the internet since 2013, 14, we have always been, maintaining our social profiles, having our own stance, uh, repeating what our core message is, and having a way to, represent ourselves, not for the internet or social media, but truly represent what I am in the real world. I show the same of, online and offline both. You have met me once offline as well, so you know that this is exactly me. To further explain on that, I get, a lot of questions and messages like, why do you follow so many people? Why are you connected to so many people? This is not how influencers do it. If you want to make a personal brand, this is now how it's done. And my answer to that is, I'm not trying to be an influencer at all. I'm trying to be a human first. And
Wow.
that's what my business is not about acting like an influencer or acting powerful.
Hmm.
I this Our demonstration here is that I can be polite and still be powerful. I can be connected to a lot of people and still be an influencer in their lives. I don't have to have a balanced following is to followers ratio. I'll connect with everyone I want to. I am a loving person. I want to engage with everyone. I want to know their stories, right? And to wrap this up in one sentence, I would say that, instead of running behind some kind of status or fame, the point here is I want to connect with the ordinary people who I know are going to do extraordinary things in their life. And that's how I frame my social media platforms. So yeah. That's the
Wow.
thing.
So you mentioned this line. I know about people. I want to connect with ordinary people who you know are going to do extraordinary things in their lives. Um, I know that many people are powerful with the elite, with the people who know it all, who have it all. Now, what is the thought process behind this when you say that I want to connect with the ordinary so that because I know they will do something extraordinary? How do you know, firstly, they will do something extraordinary? Two, is what is the thought process that goes behind connecting with people who have not made it yet in their lives versus people who have already been established?
Right. So this stems from my um, general principle in life, the three things that I always repeat everywhere. One is to learn from people who are better than you. The second is collaborate with your peers. And
Hmm.
third is teach people who are not as good as you. So when I say to judge if people are not as good as you, does not mean that do it in a bad way and look people down. That means that you can just see and know that okay, this person is just starting out and needs your help, and you show up to them to guide them. So and there is this corporate mentality that typically that goes by saying some people kiss up and kick down. So I'm not that kind of person who is going to just flatter the influencers, and I'm not going to care about the people who are in some way just starting out and newbies and beginners and newcomers. I'm
Right.
someone who is going to shine brighter light on the newbies, newcomers, and beginners versus going after the influencers just so that I can become friends with them and get seen by them. So I would definitely connect authentically with even the influencers, but at the same time, there is no distinguish or what do I say? I wouldn't be biased towards what kind of people I want to connect with. I want to connect with everyone and anyone, and the way that you see that okay, someone is going to do something extraordinary, it's just my parameter of checking people. So one is that just when you browse through someone's feed, this might look a bit out of the world, but just when you browse through someone's feed, you get the kind of person they are, the vibe that they carry, right? And it just comes. It's not nothing like there's no algorithm to find that okay, this person is this. It's just that when you scroll through their feed, you get to know okay, this person carries this vibe,
Right.
and you just feel it. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
actual parameters to it, but I know you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is primarily going by your gut feeling and your instincts that, yeah, perhaps I could connect with this person. That's a beautiful thought. Getting a bit hilarious on this, you have been you have been compared to even Karthik Aryan for his looks, and they call you the junior Karthik Aryan. And how? Yeah, yeah. Because I remember the first time when it was in our group posted there. So what was going on in your mind? Because people then it became like a chain effect. They all started talking about it. I know it is funny, it is hilarious, but what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I think the comments started in the group, and then it came to my Instagram, and then Satish is commenting here. So even on Satish's video that I did with him, people commented that okay, this guy looks like Hardik Aryan, and that's only when I have those like hairs, and I look somewhat similar, but not exactly same. And I didn't really find a resemblance, but yeah, it's just interesting that um, uh, people are so keen to like really go by the appearance. And when I watch videos or actually see people or talk to people even in real life, I kind of like just I mean, try to see their presence and how I'm feeling
Hmm.
versus really checking someone and trying to compare them with some other face that I've seen. But of course, some people you just see them at once and then you realize that, oh, this one looks like someone who I've seen before. A lot of times when I meet people, and even some of the YouTube interviews that I've done, the hosts or people would often say that I don't know where I've seen you, but you look like I've seen this guy somewhere. So I don't know exactly where this is coming from, but it's just interesting, and makes me feel that I'm relevant.
Okay, you mean to say Bollywood relevant, or you mean to say just relevant?
Just internet relevant. Like there was this one someone from a book. I wouldn't take name. So he when I met him first in real life, he said that, oh, you have a face of someone famous, but I don't know who that is.
That's a nice way to put it up, actually. All right. Speaking about your, uh, your first baby, that is your growth hacking book one. Tell me what kind of process that, what kind of thoughts did you have that you got all these authors together, these amazing authors together? Their content was crazy, and I believe that the charts had even skyrocketed even the best of the best authors, perhaps who are even role models to you as well. So yeah, and how was that? How did that concept begin? And now that I'm a part of the Growth Hacking Book Part 2 as a contributor, I think it's my honor, I believe it's my honor to be a part of it, and so is my daughter Ananya. And it's all thanks to you, Rohan. So, how did the process begin?
Firstly, I want to thank you, and we are honored to have you and Ananya in the book. The book is about people and how they have built their businesses, what principles they stand for, what values they project, and like this just some of the times their journey, not exactly like how it unfolded, but why it unfolded and what principles they carry while they do this. So if I had to write a book, I would, write monotonously in my own way and language. But then I thought with Parul that there are so many potential filled people that we have met in India and outside the world, and we could do something to shine the light upon them. Like we know that. There is this famous saying that I've started only saying recently. So, key to success in the past was to, the survival of the fittest. Businesses were cutthroat, and whoever was aggressive would win. Now the scenario has changed. It is the survival of the friendliest. The people who having ability to collaborate and be even if you're standing with your competitor, you don't feel intimidated or insecure about your position. So technically, if I feature other marketers and other growth marketers and people in my book, it doesn't make me feel that we are in competition anyways. I have a very different niche, and even if we were in the same niche, I don't really focus on the competition. The core idea of the book was collaboration, and we wanted our readers and our audiences to get knowledge from a combination of a panel of people that have been there and done that, versus me selfishly going and writing my books on books every year, and then just having one dimension of knowledge being shared. So this was the entire concept behind the book, that it was more of just an anthology, a business anthology, wherein multiple people contribute chapters and then we make them published authors. And of course, there is a lot of work behind this, and it takes a lot of energy and time and of course a lot of physical and emotional distress. But
Yeah,
at the end, it's just beautiful what we do with our lives and the lives of people who are in the book, and
true.
the way it transforms. So wonderful.
How do you deal with this kind of stress? Because the physical stress is different, the emotional stress is different, being answerable to people is different, the patience that you learn with it is incredible, and you have your own stuff to handle, your own work to handle. We'll come to that in a bit, but how do you handle all this? Because I know, for a matter of fact, for one individual it might get overwhelming at times. How do you handle that? How do
Uh,
you take care of your mental health?
I think, firstly, it is a bit um, too much, because let's say anyone who is doing, let's say a live video like this, or something, some sort of podcast or anything, and they invite guests, they know that how much tantrums one guest particularly can have, versus having then 100 people having their own requirements, having their own wishes to be a part of the book and all that, and whatever desires they have attached to the book. So we try to deliver on everything, and keep in mind everything that everyone needs and wants. And then the way to deal with stress is, again, for me, it's more like a refresh button. The mantra meditation and everything that I do, that keeps me calm and balanced. No matter what happens, I'm just the same. Sometimes it might overwhelm me, but not in a way that I will be shaken to the core, and something drastically would happen. That is never going to happen.
Lovely. That's awesome. So, Rohan, speaking about your second book, Growth Hacking Book Part 2, tell us something about that, because that is due, right? It's just due in Jan now. I want to hear it all from you.
So the book is coming out on 12th of January. We put it on pre-order on 13th of July, and wonderful to have you, your daughter Ananya, and
Thank you.
98 more people from about 20 countries. It
Woohoo.
is a win in itself, because we are trying to apply for a world record. It has to, maximum number of authors from maximum number of countries writing in one business book. Let's see if it goes through. It would be great, if it gets approved.
It will, it will, it will.
Hopefully. And
Yeah,
we have already become an Amazon bestseller under multiple categories across
yes.
many countries. Plus, we were also about for 23 hours number one on entire Amazon Kindle store.
Lovely.
This is from the time when Jay Shetty also launched his book, and we were, on the top for
Wow.
23 hours straight. So
Wow.
it's incredible what we have achieved with the book. Another one that we did was, the book was trending on Twitter, I think in the top 10 trends list. And this has never happened with any of the books in digital marketing and growth hacking. So that is an achievement in itself. And we are also trying a lot of uh, stunts. So we recently got one of the monkeys, who is a popular pet influencer on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah.
He kind
Yeah.
of acted to review a book and read a book.
That
So
was cute. That was so adorable.
so we are giving reasons for our audience to talk about us and feel good about being connected to this project. And you wouldn't believe that there are more than 200 people coming together. So of course we have 100 contributors, but there is a large number of people we also employ and work with for different reasons. So the count almost goes up to 200 people behind the book.
Oh, that's incredible. That's what, every one person has his own strategy of progressing. Here you're handling so many of them.
Oh, I've
And
learned like the biggest lessons of people management through this project, and I'm ever so grateful that we did this, because I feel that one now that I've done this, I can like manage any kind of team and a group of people.
I'm sure you can. What are the best two learnings that you learned when you were handling such a large team? when you were handling, perhaps them, you might have your people to take care at certain times, but there are times where you need to take the decision, where you need to take the call. So what are the two best learnings that you have, perhaps got a little wiser on with this experience?
So I used to be a control freak. That means I want to have control on everything. Like, what is going to go out as a format, and what is everyone following the exact same guidelines, and
Hmm.
everything looks
Hmm.
consistent. This shouldn't happen without me approving it and all of that. And then I realized that, okay, this is not really my work, right? So
Hmm.
as a person who started or ignited this movement, it's not about looking at the nitty-gritties anymore, because we already have, like I said, so many people working for different things that we are doing.
Hmm.
Now for me, it's time to step back and really share the vision that I have for the project, and
Hmm.
let the team deliver on that vision, right? So my job is to share the vision that, okay, this is how I want it to be, and this is what the entire premise of the project is. Now I leave that to you to deliver on the vision that the company has, and the book project has. So I think number one is that to try to control less, and share your vision, and let your team decide how they are going to deliver the vision. And the
Right.
second one would be to so just yesterday I was sharing this video in our group that when you give feedback to people, some people are very receptive of it, some people are neutral, and other people, the rest are very suggest me a nice word that doesn't sound harsh.
Um,
Like,
Ignorant to it or
yeah,
indifferent to it.
yeah,
Indifferent is a nice word.
indifferent to it. So I realized that, okay, it's not about framing my feedback depending on what category this person lies like the three that we listed. It's about me really saying what I mean.
Hmm.
And if you do that with in a way that it doesn't really harm your relationship in any way. So let's say if I'm giving a feedback to my team or employee, I can still say what I mean, even without thinking that it has impacted our relationship a bit. And that happens when you're giving feedback and at the same time also caring for them.
Right.
Caring in the sense that letting them know that I'm giving you this feedback because I want you to look good in front of the people. So this is happening behind the scenes, backstage, and you're only with me right now. This thing is going to get published online and several thousand people are going to read it, and I want you to look good in front of them, and that's the only reason I'm saying it. I have no personal agenda to it. And
Yeah.
I think that completely shifts the uh, dimension of their thinking, and they end up being receptive.
That's so cool. So tell me, Rohan, what do you think is what do you see the future of digital marketing? Because you are big time into growth hacking, and when you say growth hacking, what kind of job do you really do? Because there are two different understandings, and I'm sure you know about this because hacking has a very different
Mm.
understanding in the regular common man's life. But what is it exactly that you do for your work?
Yeah, so I'm often misunderstood because hacking has a negative connotation to it.
Yes.
But yeah, when we talk about growth hacking, it's more of running marketing growth experiments to uncover unconventional marketing strategies
Hmm.
using data to acquire and retain customers or users. So to make it like say it in simple words, it is more of finding untraditional non-traditional ways to do marketing. So let's say, for example, a regular digital marketer would go with the same age-old internet marketing strategies. What I do is I'm trying to find something new. So let's say if I'm a seasoned marketer, I've been there for so many years, maybe more than 3 4 years after I monetized my skills. So I've already seen everything, or if not done, I at least know what happens. Now, what can we do to innovate it further? And that's where these companies come to me to essentially get the ideas. So when I say ideas, it means growth experiments. So every company is trying to grow, and they grow through running different experiments to see what sticks and what does not. So I give them like a set of new different strategies and growth experiments that they can try, and that's how I do as a professional. So I would show them possibilities that they never thought existed. I would show them
Lovely.
digital channels that are underutilized, and then some ways to approach the same old tactics, but with a different like completely showing a different perspective to that. So this is what I do as a growth hacker. And when you talk about the industry as a whole, I feel that so many people are just sheeps. I don't mean that in a negative way, but they truly are. So very few people are shepherds, and most of them are sheeps. Whatever the shepherds suggest, the sheeps are just repeating that. So I'll give you a classic example of that. So let's say if Gary Vee releases a video and has an opinion on something, let's say it's about Snapchat. So when
Yeah.
Snapchat was really coming up, Gary Vee was, I don't know, was in having a relationship with the founders, or he was an investor there, I don't know. But he was aggressively promoting Snapchat, and all the sheeps of the industry started
Yeah.
echoing his voice.
Yeah.
And then in a year, all the marketers lost interest in Snapchat, and all of a sudden, all the sheeps also went silent. So my problem is that why are the sheeps only repeating the shepherds and sheeps not trying to become shepherds themselves? So my
True.
encouragement to everyone is that let's try to be shepherds. There's nothing wrong that multiple shepherds can be in the same place, and we all can have our own predictions and opinions versus relying on a select few shepherds and then sheeps just repeating the same. So I think that's when innovation will start coming up, right? So once you consider yourself as a thought leader, and I mean not just consider but prove it with your work, that's when the entire game shifts and you start innovating. So the entire idea behind this analogy is to just say that marketing should be more of seen as like an innovation lab where you're innovating the way you're going to market your products. It could be through engineering, it could be through marketing, it could be through psychology. It's a mix of everything. So yeah, that's where I come from.
That's amazing. And how satisfying is your work, Rohan?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I feel that there is this popular saying with some equation that let's say if you're working something, I exactly forgot what it was. So when you're working and it feels like a play, it doesn't really feel like work, right? And that's when you're motivated to also work more. Of course, there are books like 4 Hour Work Week from Tim Ferriss and others, but then those concepts are not to be taken like too literally that it should be 4 hour work week. That means that you're like trying to free up from doing that repetitive work of $10 to going to doing some high level strategic work. So if you really like your work, it doesn't have to be really 4 hours. It's just a way of how Tim Ferriss has put it. But if you're too, like if you think that it's play, you can actually do it for 10 hours, 15 hours, 14 hours a day, and no, I mean, it's not going to impact you anyway. If something is taking off energy from you, draining you, then that's a problem. But if something is energizing you, the more you do it, I think that's where you know that okay, you have not just found work, but you have found a purpose and calling for your life.
True. I totally, totally agree. And that's why I'm going to ask you the next best question. What are your work hours, Rohan?
It's very random. So
Yeah.
um, I used to be waking up at 5 because I was inspired by our inspiration, Robin Sharma,
Yeah.
5 a.m. club. And then this lockdown happened and everything happened. I started sleeping late and waking up early. But then I'm again trying to wake up early now and sleep soon. But just talking of the working hours, I feel that I'm almost always working, but at the same time having so much fun that I don't realize that I'm working.
Yeah.
So I have this habit of having a running commentary of everything that I'm doing throughout the day. So I have a couple of groups. What I do is, let's say if I'm working on something like writing replies to my emails or messages, or just working on editing a few chapters, or
Hmm.
uh, producing content or consuming content, engaging on social media, everything, whatever interesting things I'll find, I'll keep putting in the groups just to update my team and other people that, "Hey, this is what I've been doing, and I'm having fun doing that." So it just a way to make your work interesting and how you can make it more playful
Yeah.
is what I strive to be.
More human is the word.
Yeah, right.
Right? I will put that down. I know someone else will put that down for sure, and I'll highlight it. But yeah, I would like to put that down to make your work more human. Is that correct?
Right, right. It shouldn't feel like you're a robot trying to do the same thing every day.
Absolutely.
I try to like just make it interesting, and the way we do that.
That's amazing. That's a great thought there. Yeah. So coming to the topic of what is your take, what is your opinion, and how do you see the future of digital marketing? Please let us know about it, because yeah, everybody is just it's like swarming so many people into the digital industry. What is your take on it?
I think the barrier to entry is very low, right?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of people can become marketers, but not a lot of people can, um, just be original with their marketing.
True.
And there's nothing wrong with copying the tested methods.
Mm.
But then, let's say if you're in some time in the industry and then you are still being a copycat of someone, then there is a problem. And that's when I feel that there has to be a shift there to, if you really want to. So let's say if I consider Gary or anyone as an inspiration, I can only go up to his level, right?
Yeah,
You can't surpass someone you are copying. You can actually, but then if you're an exact replica, then you cannot.
yeah.
So I think authenticity is one thing that would drive this. The second is, again, like I said, originality. Third is coming up with like being really the shepherd and not the sheep. You can be sheep sometimes when you are learning, but then you also have to be the shepherd for people who are just starting out. Like I said in that uh, principle that I have, learn from people who have been there and done that. The second is collaborate with your peers, and the third is teach people who are not as good as you. So you definitely can be a shepherd for some segment and sheep for some, but there has to be a balance. And lastly, with the digital trends that I see, I think there would be a major shift in the kind of channels people are going to use in the next decade, and the kind of there's just now going to be more sophistication in the approach. Initially, digital marketing was very new and everyone was doing anything. But now I feel there might even be law enforcement in so many countries, and people will just become more creative and sophisticated with their approach in the years to come.
That's so awesome. And if I have to ask you, what are the questions that people normally ask you about their business? What is the question that you get asked the most? Any two questions. What would it be?
I think a lot of my work is more of, like it has become, I used to be like providing services to companies and startups, but then lately it has become more of just talking, and talking in the sense of consultation, because people, post pandemic, so many startups started emerging and everyone wants to start something but are confused where they stand. And that's where I thought, okay, let's start a different segment altogether wherein they can ask me anything. So the most frequent questions are related to user and customer acquisition, like what do I do to get customers? And I think the answer to that is very simple. One is, you don't really need to get customers first. You have to find if there is a product market fit, and that happens, okay, when you have customers. What I mean by that is, let's say if you have a very brilliant like you coach people for speaking on camera with confident, and you have various programs to go through. So you did not start full fledged with, like, a giant company or enterprise that teaches video
Yeah,
marketing. You started with a small batch of people to test the idea that if people are inclined to learn this skill, because I think this is a new age skill to come on
for
camera,
sure.
talk confidently, and have a conversation that makes sense. Because I've also seen people who come on camera and then are in
Yeah.
their own world and speaking to themselves.
Yeah,
So I have personally seen the kind of student success that have happened through your programs and through your teachings, and that validates your idea of doing this further. And then when you saw, okay, this one program was super hit, people are finding it beneficial and they're ready to pay for it, that's when you felt comfortable launching another one and then another one, and then you went on to do that. And that's how the approach should be. So a lot of people are just trying to make it overcomplicated by acting like they have already made it. But I
yeah,
think it all starts with product market fit, is testing with a small group of people if there is a need, and if there is a need, you try to expand. So this is the first question. The second I get is, once you have already got the customers, how do you retain them? So
mm,
let's say, for example, we did our first book. So even though we do not see them as customers at all, because we don't make any money out of the book project, but because it's a crowd-funded project, so we got a bunch of people to crowdfund the book in the part one. And how did we retain almost 60 to 70% of the contributors in the part two as well? Is to deliver them an experience which is not replicable anywhere else, right? So if you're delivering something that is not replicable in same capacity or to the same extent, your people are going to stay with you. So I think that's the easiest question to for retention. Same as with can be applied across industries. Could be with your courses. Now they have learned how to speak confidently on camera, start their own video production for their own brand. The next step could be how you can help them to make it more professional, how you can help them to almost uh, convert those videos into also having like a video sales funnel. So now that they can appear confidently on camera, that is part one. The second is how they can make profits out of that. That's what you're going to teach next.
yes,
So I think it's just how you can continue to deliver a consistent stream of value is what
absolutely.
keeps them or keeps people hooked to you.
Absolutely. In fact, to share with you, the people who have done this have already started earning from their videos, either through affiliate marketing or through because of the video. One lady in particular, she's a healer. So because of her video, she was selected to be on air for some other channel because of that presence, the visual presence, the video presence of hers.
How wonderful is that?
Yeah, and she was very happy because when she would come on camera, Rohan, she would begin to laugh. She would just laugh. There was nothing else. She would feel so shy and she would look at herself and laugh. So going from there to grabbing a great offer, that was an amazing, huge leap of faith for herself.
I think these are the stories that make us continue to do the work that we do, right? This
Absolutely
is the
true. I
prime
totally
motivator. A
resonate.
lot of people, just to interject one remark or comment rather. So a lot of people say that, I'm maybe my work is getting monotonous, I'm getting bored, and something similar. But I feel that if you're making a change in the lives of people,
Mm,
if you feel responsible for their success,
mm.
I think that's what drives you, and you can never really get bored out of doing this, because you know that other people are dependent on you and you want them to see, you want them you want to see them winning.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you, and that's the reason the service attitude comes into play. The serve humanity, like you began
Correct.
with your talk with that kind of speech, and I really love that. So, if at all people have to take away any good learnings from your life as a whole, what would it be? And I would really love to know them as well.
I think largely a part of like a large part of things that I do depend on this one core principle that I have. Whatever you want more of, you do that to others. So let's say if I want to make more money, I would help my clients make more money. If I want to be happy, I would make my friends and family and the community happy. If I really want to, like, want other people to be there for me, that would start by me being there for them. So I think whatever you want more of, you do to others. It is what the core principle of achieving anything in life is. That's what I've figured out so far. I'm still figuring out, but this is what has, helped me so far.
Yeah, I totally resonate with that. And this beautiful discovery was made just a while ago, and you made it already at a young age. That's amazing.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And what's the second one?
The second one, like I'm good with repetition. I keep repeating a lot of things. So the second one really is, this is for more of a professional success.
Okay.
So first one was for also applied to the personal success. The second one is more of for professional success, wherein I say that, learn from people who have been there and done that. Second is collaborate with your peers, and the third is teach people who have, who are just starting out and not as good as you. I might sound like a broken record, but truly this is like the ultimate formula to get ahead.
Oh God, I'm going to laugh about this even later. No, but you don't sound like a broken record. It is because you are living that kind of
Right. I
value.
cannot
Yeah.
stress enough that, okay, this is the only thing, you believe it or not.
Okay, thanks for triggering that part of me which keeps on laughing for another 15, 20 minutes. All right. So great, Rohan. Thank you so much. Is there something that you would like to tell our audience, our existing audience, perhaps who are seeing us? And I don't know if I can see them, if this is the right statistics of what we are seeing, or this is the right statistics of what we are seeing. Is there something that you would like to share?
Yeah, if if you enjoyed this conversation, please check out the growth hacking book, wherein Kashish has written an incredible chapter about how you can use videos to make an impact and profit. It's called the VIP code, Video Impact and
Yeah.
Profit.
Yeah.
I am sharing it before things are launched, but yeah, just to leave you at the cliffhanger of what that is, you will find that in the book, and it will be out 12th of January, so you can pre-order on Amazon right now. There's also Kashish's daughter Ananya has written a wonderful chapter on
Yeah.
finding your purpose and calling, and which is incredible that people who are so young, are able to uh, really,
Yeah.
like, if not figure out everything, at least try to. And I think that should be applauded. So I think you should definitely grab your copy and find things that you have never seen before, and read things that you have never read before.
That's amazing. In fact, I got my inspiration from one of the lady who abroad was doing a similar thing, and I accidentally stumbled upon her profile. Marley Jacks is the name, and I stumbled upon her profile, and I did take her course as well. But it was too intense for me because I was making my own courses at that time. So it was very intense for me, and I left it halfway. I did not complete the course. So then I started realizing, man, if I am not completing my course, how
Right.
can I expect others to complete mine? And then I realized, how can I chunk it down to chewable bites? That's when I came up with these 5 days because it was getting so irritating at a point beyond. Consistency is not everybody's game.
Right. I think you figured the right thing, that not everyone is going to like really finish it. So you
Yeah.
have to sometimes handhold them and make them finish it.
Absolutely. Just in case if anybody has any questions relating to growing with the integral hacks, ethical hacks, then you can connect with Rohan Chobe on all social media
Yeah,
platforms.
if they search me, Google shows that Google
Yeah,
panel,
yeah,
they will see all the social media platforms.
absolutely. And is this something that you were giving off as a free PDF or something? Because as a parting gift, we would really love to give that
Yeah,
to
so
our audience.
we have this complimentary copy of the growth hacking book too. So that's not the actual book,
Yeah.
but it's still a 45-page incredible book with all the growth hacks and like the basic understanding of what growth hacking is, in case you're unaware.
Mhm.
Also within that, we give you a free Chrome extension, a tool that helps you with growing your organic reach on Facebook. So within the book, you will find that as well. So yeah, you can check it out.
So here's your two gifts. One is grab your complimentary copy of the growth hacking book, and second one is the Chrome extension, the plugin which will help you reach your right people on Facebook and not have dead engagement on Facebook. Right. So that's incredible. So Rohan, how can they get these two gifts from you?
Maybe I'll put that in the comments as soon as
Yeah,
we jump off this call.
absolutely. Great. And thank you so much for your wonderful golden nuggets of wisdom. And these two gifts, gifts are always welcome. Yeah, Rohan, keep sharing them more. All right. So just in case, if let me see, I don't think we have missed out on any question. Let me just take a look. No, not really. So already booked. Somebody is saying already booked. Nakul is saying already booked. So perhaps it is about the growth hacking book. That's amazing, Nakul. Thank you so much. You are awesome. So here we are creating history while we are alive, Rohan. And I would say this is immense vibe. I would say immense great vibe connection. It says your vibe attracts your tribe. And I'm extremely, extremely thankful to you to be having this kind of vibe so that it multiplies even further and attracts the right kind of people into our tribe. So thank you so much once again, and God bless you. It was an honor again to have you on my first LinkedIn Live, and I'm super,
Thank
super
you for
excited.
having me.
God bless. Take care. Bye bye.